Anthony and Todd Show, a weekly podcast that critiques and memes music. I'm your host, Jonathan, aka I'm in fucking indie short fest competition, bitches. Yeet!
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 Yeet! And I'm joined by my ever-attentive co-host, my best friend, my pal, my amigo, my droog. You know, all know him, it's Vincent.
AKA Hotel Devil. I go around to hotels and I just wreak havoc for the staff so they kick me out.
Hotel Devil. He leaves only 1-star reviews on Yelp. What an asshole.
This is episode 91 of the Anthony and Todd Show, an episode we would like to call...
Don't tell Machine Gun Kelly that Kelly sounds like a girl's name. He has a fragile sense of masculinity as it is. I feel like you did that just because Kelly is my middle name.
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I keep on forgetting about that. Oh, it's a girl's name. Your fragile masculinity, Jonathan. You're going to make a diss track to me, and it's going to be worse than the actual Machine Gun Kelly one, because you can't rap. Neither can Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, that's
but he can't. He doesn't rap more often. If that makes sense.
He has more experience being bad at rap than
Yeah,
I do. Gotcha.
Today we're going over 3 weird records that I think you could all consider bad in some form, but at least one of these bad albums is a good album, if that makes sense. First of all, we're going over the latest Blarf album, Cease and Desist, the latest Jaden Smith album, ERYS, which is just sire backwards. I don't know how you would pronounce that. ERYS?
That's not sire backwards. The Y and the R would be
Oh, I fucked it up. I mixed the Y and the R.
Oh.
It's sire backwards.
Oh.
And MGK with Hotel Diablo. He's a true hotel devil. The hotel devil. He only goes to Spanish hotels.
It is the worst remake of Hotel California I've ever heard.
Before we start, today's intro demo that I just made 10 seconds ago is called Hotel Devil. Hope you all enjoy.
Me again. I'm happy.
Jonathan is a hotel devil. That's what it's now called because I didn't have the chance to save it. Okay, you ready to blarf up the scenario?
Sure.
That's
I need you to cease and desist with these terrible jokes.
That's good. That's a good one. It's time to hunker down and go over Blarf's latest release, Cease and Desist. Blarf is an experimental project and pseudonym for comedian Eric Andre, who you may know from a few little things like the Eric Andre Show, Disenchantment on Netflix, and the upcoming Lion King movie. One of these things is not like the other.
It's also on, what was it, Man-Seeking? What was the...
Man-Seeking Woman, yeah.
Man-Seeking Woman.
Yeah, but that's not as important as Disenchantment.
You might also know him from all the memes.
All the memes, every meme ever, including this album.
Yeah.
He, surprisingly, you may be like, wait, comedian Eric Andre makes music? It gets better. Let me tell you. He graduated with a degree in double bass from Berklee College of Music in 2005. Sorry, I yelled that. It's just really funny.
Yeah.
And this was released on Stone Throw Records. The same Stone Throw who's released some of my favorite albums of all time, whether it's J Dill's Donuts, Mad Villain's Mad Villainy. So Stone Throw's entrusted double bass graduate from Berklee, Eric Andre, to put out a new record. And it
gave them Blarf.
It gave them Blarf. And Blarf is a plunderphonics project. And Jonathan, you may ask, what's plunderphonics?
What? Oh, as I supposed
Yeah.
What's plunderphonics?
Well, let me tell you, plunderphonics, by textbook definition, is any music made by taking one or more existing audio recordings and altering them in some way to make a new composition. This is mostly known from John Oswald. In his work, he made an entire plunderphonics album, which took songs like Michael Jackson's Beat It and would just sample it. It was pretty memey. The existence of plunderphonics had some beauty, like he would sample some orchestral music, but it was pretty memey in the start and very rustic, and not rustic, but like rusty, kind of grimy and filthy, but still very fun and interesting. Some of my favorite albums are plunderphonics albums, like Avalanche's Since I Left You. Matt Moss's recent Plastic Anniversary is considered plunderphonics because it samples only plastic noises. And Neil C. Sareka's Mouth Moods, the entire Mouth trilogy of just meme music, is considered plunderphonics, and it's beautifully and well crafted done. And Blarf's considered plunderphonics. And this entire record, this 9-song 27-minute album, is a plunderphonics masterpiece. in my opinion. As much as this thing could be a masterpiece, because I think there's a lot of character being portrayed through the music, whether it's badass, let me say this right, badass bullshit Benjamin Button's Butthole Assassin, where you just get constant samples going into each other with some heavy drums. There's heavy drum samples across this whole entire album that kind of give this distinctive vibe of this kind of hectic nature. There's this glitchiness in the entire record, as well as this kind of clanginess too. It just feels very metallic in nature. Everything's just kind of bumpy and metallic.
There's like elements in this album that just feel like the openings like of the Eric Andre show, where everything's just smashing together and breaking apart, but like it's kind of beautiful to witness.
Yeah, we get these samples going in one another and its hectic nature going into this kind of beautiful moment with horns. Later on we got Save It Babe, which is complete. It has this Jimi Hendrix sample that leads into more hectic drums, and it's sped up, and it has this completely rapid fire nature that just keeps on going. I feel like I'm being chased by the sample. Banana, which is this weird vocal sample leading into just this great string sample that is then glitched together and spliced together in such a way that it makes it seem completely frantic and out of the world. You moments like Hella Rhymes, where a Busta Rhymes sample is played rapid fire over all these other there's hard noise to make this really interesting moment. A lot of these moments range from like 4 minutes to a minute. We get moments like I like that and I Don't Know, which is these drum samples that come off really incredible. And completely just unorthodox and strange. Then I think you get into the main problem of this album, which I think it's also a benefactor, and it helps this album in some way.
Yeah.
I Worship Satan. It's a 12-minute long, around 13 minutes long.
It's an album or a song as long as an episode of
the Eric Andre show, where it's just gargled field recordings, what it sounds like. It just distorted field recordings.
Heavy distorted noise that then gives way into these like sounds like horror movie like soundtracks.
Just old school horror movie soundtrack. That's what it sounds like.
And then it ends with the Reading Rainbow.
And let me emphasize 11 minutes of this is just gargled noise.
Yeah.
And it's I've experienced things like this before in other projects, but why this works is it's completely unexpected. It's not great, but it defines this unorthodox character that just doesn't give a fuck. And I think it's incredible because of that, because it's a complete troll. Yeah, this is a troll track.
It's exactly what you expect from Eric Andre.
It's just completely stupid, left field, shouldn't exist.
Yeah. It works. The album works into this like, oh, okay, I understand what this is now. Like coming to accept like all this chaotic sampling and all this noise, and then it just hits you with just for 12 fucking minutes. It's exactly what you expect from Eric Andre. It's what makes his show so good. It's like it lures you into this false sense of like security within its chaotic realm, and then just completely pulls like the curtains out. And like the floor out from underneath you and just fucks you over.
Then we get into final two tracks, Boom Ba, which is a terrific track with, again, the rapid file style of sampling. Then we get the Me and Me, which takes a Smashing Pumpkins guitar loop, or I think a bass loop, or it's turned into a heavy bass loop, along with some hella percussion and vocals. It's a really interesting idea and a 1 minute blend that kind of brings together the album into a more plunderphonics nature before you do leave. I think while I Worship Satan's going to be the one thing that decides like people whether they decide they like this or not, I think it does define his character. I think everything else on this album is so strong that one moment could be so terrible as it wants to be,
and I actually like it. I don't think it's a terrible moment.
It's not bad. It's just so long. And it's really interesting. I've listened to this album 3 days today. No, I listened to it 3 times a day, and because it's so short, this album total again is only 27 minutes, and every time I listen to that track all the way through, and not one time was I completely.
I've never once thought about skipping that track.
Yeah, it's never come to me because I think everything else in that album is so chaotic. To have that one moment is kind of a blessing in disguise, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And that's really it. This album's really short. It's pretty cut and center.
It's a great.
There's not too much you got to say about it.
No.
except it has rapid fire sampling, some great drum samples throughout. It's not afraid to take risks. It's not afraid to be memey. Yeah. It's not afraid to be completely stupid. It's not afraid to be a troll.
It's not afraid to include at the end of one of the, or I think it might actually be at the beginning, a sample of Patton Oswalt making fun of George Bush.
That's at the end of Boomba.
Yeah, in 2019, like we still give a shit about George Bush.
Yeah, like this thing is completely unorthodox, crazy, out of control, and it knows it's everything. It knows that it can be a complete dick if it really wanted to, and just have I worship Satan go on for like 4 hours if it really needed to be. But keep in mind, all scores are futile and meaningless. Right now, I'm feeling 8 on this. I really enjoyed it.
I'm feeling 8.
Yeah, and Central Project. Yeah, I think it's Central Project. I think it's part of the list, and I think it's completely unorthodox, strange, and one of the best uses of sampling so far this year, and what it's been a great year for sampling and music. And we're gonna leave it at that, and we're gonna move on to the ERYS, the iconic Jaden Smith. Yeah, you're right, Jonathan. He's iconic. You know who else is iconic? Will Smith. But you didn't know who didn't put out a shitty record last year? Will Smith.
But he did put out a shitty song this year.
He did.
With Logic.
But Jaden Smith, you may be asking, who's Jaden Smith? He's a Malibu rapper and philosopher.
And a model now.
And a model. Don't forget that. Don't forget he's a model.
An actor.
He was an actor. He doesn't act. I think After Earth was actually his last film.
Good.
Yeah. He's the son of Will Smith. If we're not explaining who Will Smith is, if you don't know who Will Smith is, get out your rock. Yeah. Get out your Dwayne Johnson.
Go watch The Fresh Prince. Go watch.
You don't need to. You just watch Men in Black. I actually rewatched that recently. It's pretty decent.
The clip from Independence Day where he says "Welcome to Earth" and you're good.
Yeah. He released that. Jaden Smith released an album in 2017, his debut studio album Sire in 2017. Had great tracks like Icon and The Passion, but also had terrible moments where he seemed like he was 12 and completely unable to make an actual decent track, and he was just completely stupid and out of his mind. Also, this thing baves an A$AP Rocky influence to the point where at times it didn't even feel like himself. But yeah, Batman was a terrible track, and moments on Sire showed potential, but we were just confused on how far he would go with it. Sire, the Electric album, also showed in 2018 that also showed he had potential, basically making these long expanded versions off Sire, expanded into like the very distorted and very glistening acoustic tracks, which was interesting. But it was also pretty short, but it felt really long. And he didn't really develop these songs any further. It just seemed like a concept that he really didn't take anywhere. Then he moved on to the Sunset Tapes, a cool tape story where me and Trevor kind of gave up on our hope for Jaden Smith to actually make anything good, because he just became Brockhampton. He was just ripping off Brockhampton. He didn't have any original ideas.
I think
and the album
become an official member of Brockhampton.
That's what Trevor says.
Because like he was at his best when he was a feature on a Brockhampton song.
Yeah, and it was so forgettable that even a few weeks later, I forgot to add it to the worst list. It survived not being on the worst list
because of how forgettable
it was. Yeah. Now we're at.
If I have like a constant list, I'd probably end up forgetting to put like Raconteurs for that reason.
Yeah. Now it's time for ERYS, and he describes it as a strict, hard rap album. So
what does that even mean?
It means he just rips off more than just Brockhampton or more than just A$AP Rocky. He now rips off Drake, 2 Chainz, Tyler Creator, Travis Scott, Metro Boomin, Kid Cudi, Brockhampton, A$AP Rocky, Kid Cudi again. He rips off everyone who's had an influence in alternative hip hop in the last like decade.
Yep.
So yeah, just everyone. Kanye. Everyone. So going over this, the start with his sister Willow is kind of interesting, except it's a complete fucking mess. It's so fucking, everything's just stacked on top of each other, and it feels like it has no chemistry. None of these production elements have any chemistry or fit whatsoever. And then Willow comes through at the end with her kind of bridge, and it's kind of nice, but then we just go back to shit. Like,
that's an issue with like all of like the Pink quadrilogy of songs, I guess. Because like every single like song has like a random like switch partway through it where it feels like it's switching to another track, but it's actually just the same one, and it's I guess the idea was for them all to flow as like one thing, but they don't because there's no transitions. It's just like cuts.
Yeah.
Which if you want to make like a beautiful like flowing album, that's not how you do it.
Yeah, the first four tracks do flow really well, but they also feel really suffocating because none of them end. There's no transitions into a new idea. It's just the same idea for 16 minutes.
Yeah. Except when they just cut.
Moving on to I, which is a complete Drake and Boy Wonder ripoff. It just sounds like a Boy Wonder beat. There's no original ideas. He's puffing up his chest like Drake even does. It doesn't. He does that for majority of his album, where he just seems like he has little man syndrome, where he just goes up and is puffing up his chest to act tough, but he isn't tough. Going to N, where he tries to have weird cadences like 2 Chainz, and he isn't able to develop their unique character. K is just so chaotic, and the guest feature on there is just disgusting. Sounds like he's ripping off Brockhampton, and he really wants a Bareface feature, but he couldn't get it, or a Ryan Beatty feature either, for that matter, and he couldn't get it. Moving on to Noise, which features Tyler Creator. Tyler Creator makes the line, I got your white stripes, here's my icky thump, or something along the lines of that. Tyler, you made Igor this year. What the fuck are you doing on here?
I feel like
you made one of the best albums the last decade, and now we're back to Cherry Bomb phase,
like
where
Tyler
nothing has any meaning.
Has like this thing where he'll like alternate. He'll like, I'm gonna actually try out this album, and that's where you get Flower Boy and Wolf and Igor, and then he has like, I'm just gonna fuck around, which is where you get Cherry Bomb and the fucking Grinch soundtrack.
Yeah, this more follows the Grinch soundtrack monologue.
This is Tyler post Igor just fucking around.
Also the auto-tune across this entire record, but most notably on this track, follows the Travis Scott method of maybe if I hum, it will have some characteristics with the auto-tune, or maybe it won't. It's very Kanye's 808s and Heartbreaks inspired, of not putting a lot of effort and hoping a lot of results. But he's not good at following it or good at harmonizing with it, so it just comes off really bad. We go into moments like, again, with Sire, which I don't even understand this whole entire Sire storyline. It doesn't make any sense to me. I think it's supposed to be like kind of a transgendered character, which isn't a bad thing, but it also isn't set up correctly throughout any of this, so I don't even understand the point. It doesn't even seem like an alternative personality. It just seems like just Jaden Smith being so pretentious for his own asshole. He's just blowing smoke up his own ass. We get Again, which has Sire on it, but it has this Metro Boomin knockoff beat where it just sounds like a dark, moody trap beat, like something Metro Boomin would cook up on Not All Heroes Wear Capes. We go on later with Fire Department, which is just a shitty punk track.
I'm conflicted on that song because like it's where Jaden showcases the most personality and energy and seemingly like giving a shit with the vocal performance, and like the actual punk instrumentation isn't like that bad. It's pretty like generic, like
it's just flat. Everything about that track's flat. It's not hectic like a lot of these tracks are, where it's just stacking so much elements on top of each other. It's just flat.
It's flat, but like at the same time, like listening to it, it's the only time I feel like I actually can feel Jaden like actually try and like not sound asleep.
Yeah,
other
that's
than
the point.
Like the end of
that is a true point. Going on to Mission with Trinidad James, where I feel like Trinidad James is just buried in the track to the point where you can't even notice him. Summertime in Paris with Willow, where it just sounds like a Brockhampton ripoff. Like we're just listening to some sad boy moments on Kevin Abstract's last album, just being cut back on here.
Yeah.
We got moments like Chateau with A$AP Rocky, where A$AP Rocky is a welcomed addition to the track, but he cannot save Jaden Smith from himself. A$AP Rocky definitely sounds like Big Brother in this track, where he's like, okay, little brother, you can come on here now. Jaden Smith is like, oh, I'm so tough. Then we go to On My Own, where Kid Cudi redeems the entire track and the majority of the album for me. And he's just able to like lift my spirits up. That man could do wonders for a lot of these tracks. And Jaden Smith just cannot be Kid Cudi, and it completely shows, because Jaden Smith ruins this track because he's on it, and Kid Cudi is not 100% on this track all the time. Yeah. But that's just the rest of the album. The last of these tracks are just go on forever. They just go on for 5 to 7 minutes.
Aggressive ending point, but other than that, the track sucks.
Yeah.
Also, there's like a lot of weird like censoring throughout this album. Did you notice that?
Yeah, but I think it's Jaden Smith again blowing smoke
Yeah.
up his own ass.
I was
being
like going
pretentious.
through like all the lyrics, like these aren't words that would need to be censored.
Yeah,
It's not like Joba censoring the mental illness that he has on that's about Sister Nation?
yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And it's not like JPEG censoring saying the F word.
Bad words,
Yeah.
or it's not like Gorillaz censoring Donald Trump. It's not systematically
Yeah.
done out through words.
It's there seems to be no like real rhyme or reason behind like what's being censored.
Yeah, yeah. Going throughout this entire thing, Jaden Smith doesn't have original personality, and when he does, it's negative qualities. So.
Yeah.
This fails. This is one time where I feel like an album just fails at doing anything positive or having any positive moments in general. There's nothing I can really give it say besides Kid Cudi's good, A$AP Rocky's decent, Tyler's just bad.
Fire Department makes me wonder if like Jaden would have better luck just going to punk playing personality.
It's hard to
a little
do.
better.
Cudi tried it. He failed, but he had some good moments. So maybe if Jaden tries,
Yeah.
he'll succeed. But I also said that for the Electric album. I just kind of want Jaden to focus on one thing for
Yeah.
once instead of trying to be Travis Scott or trying to be Metro Boomin or instead of trying to be Brockhampton or Kid Cudi or A$AP Rocky. I wish he would stop having influences and be more himself because Jaden's made good tracks before.
Yeah.
Even before he released studio albums, some of the tracks he made for like the Get Down soundtrack were actually pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if he just had a ton of hands on that, and he wasn't letting his own influence stride in, but like his creativity on this is just terrible.
Yeah.
And it's what suffocates a lot of this album is he just tries to be overly pretentious and puff up his chest, but it just doesn't work.
No.
Keep in mind that all scores are futile meaningless right now. I'm filling up like a 1.
Yeah. One.
I want to give this a 0 bad, but the features, some of these features are different. I just think it fails as an album.
It's just it's boring, it's forgettable, it's bland, there's very little personality on it.
I can't give it a 0 because there's at least some moments I can say are noteworthy positive, even though they're not from Jaden. Okay, moving on to the final record of today. MGK, Machine Gun Kelly, Hotel Diablo, which is Hotel Devil for those of you who do not speak the Spanish tongue.
I don't think hotel is Spanish.
It is if you're saying if it's in a title in English and you're saying it in Spanish. It's 14 songs, 37 minutes, and it's by Machine Gun Kelly. Machine Gun Kelly, Cleveland MC, got his name rise. His stock was rised after singles like Wild Boy featuring Waka Flocka Flame and Invincible. He's an edgy, low-tier MC. He's just diet store Eminem. He was probably raised on Eminem, to be
He
precise,
named Eminem as one of his major influences.
which is not surprising because he just sounds like
He sounds like a watered down Eminem.
he sounds like MC. He sounds like Insane Clown Posse without anything fun.
Yeah.
Same thing for Eminem, even though Eminem today is not really fun. They had a beef last year, actually. Eminem
some
and Insane
reason.
Clown Posse. Eminem
I
brought
feel like
Pop
we
Shots.
We need to set up a clear rule. You're not allowed to beef with anybody who like blatantly like made you who you are. Like that should just be a standard rule. It's like, oh, I'm better than you. It's like you literally are him. You would not exist without him. You cannot beef with him.
Okay, but Eminem threw pop shots at everyone on Kamikaze, and MGK was one of the more subtle times that had happened, and that led to Rap Devil, MGK's Shot Back, and that led to Kill Shot, which was actually pretty decent.
Yeah.
But MGK's Rap Devil was terrible, and he got thrown in the fucking water.
I feel like
He got buried by an old man who yells at the sky. Like, come on, we need to stop this. Like,
MGK seems really super sensitive about fans.
he has a toxic masculinity. It shows throughout this entire record.
Like he's bringing up like Fanes on this album like throughout. Where he's like complaining about not getting recognition, but like the Fanes he's wanting recognition for aren't Fanes he deserves it for.
Yeah,
Like he's talking about like wanting recognition because like back when like I'm trying to forget remember the exact line, but something like while like people were hating on like white rappers, I was out there like killing it in these like rap battles. Like those were happening in 2009. Like, Eminem's been around for a lot longer than that. Doing just fine. The Beastie Boys exist. And fucking Macklemore, his career started in 2004. Literally the only person you beat to the fucking punch was fucking Mac.
Mac Miller's. Yeah,
His career started in 2010.
yeah.
Only one he beat to the punch.
Yeah.
So, like,
Moving on to this, I want to take it track by track for a lot of this. I think a lot of these tracks don't matter, but I want to cover the important tracks. Sex Drive is straight up 2 minutes of just 9-inch nails mixed with some Daft Punk like percussion.
it was. Here's the.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. That track actually pisses me off though, because like I was like, oh, as much as I don't want to listen to MGK rap, like at least we'll get some interesting like production, and then nothing ever matches that.
That doesn't happen. We get no more industrial moments for the rest of the album.
Sounds at all like Sex Drive, and it pisses me off that that's how you open the album, giving me so much fucking hope for at least decent production, and then you follow it up with just shitty trap.
We go into El Diablo, where he starts saying he wants a claim and he needs respect, but he hasn't done anything to earn respect, so he just sounds like an idiot with toxic masculinity. And this leads to Hollywood Whore, where he continues his beef with Eminem and says that the music industry treats him like a rape.
Which I don't think we need to comment on that.
It's yes, music industry is harsh, but it didn't commit sexual assault on you.
Yeah,
so
and every industry is harsh. We live in capitalism.
Yeah. He just has this toxic sense of masculinity. Here's the problem. This is an emo rap album. Emo rap recently has become more melodic.
Yeah.
He's in the old phase of emo rap where it was with X.
Yeah.
And even though we're getting this like random sways of melodic emo rap that's like over like the last year, it's weird that it's aged this fast.
Yeah.
And his like he does stuff like I'm gonna cut myself or I'm gonna kill myself, where someone like Trippie Redd would say it. At this point, I don't take it as like a serious fact. I take it like a sense of bravado or anything like that. Yeah. He kind of take it seriously because I just feel sorry for him. Yeah. I pity him in a sense, which is kind of sad that I kind of do.
It's so
because he just feels very fragile to anything that's being said negatively about him through this entire record.
So determined to prove a point. Like he talks about like the game wouldn't be the same without him. Like yeah, it would. We still have Eminem.
Yeah, it would be completely the same.
Literally, MGK has had like zero influence on anybody because he's just drowning in his own influences who just keep influencing people.
Yep.
And like one of the other things he mentioned, like I was trying to go through like Genius, so like one of the things was talking about like the influence he's had. So it was like, yeah, he was like the first to like use a live band on his sets. Like, no, he wasn't. The Beastie Boys fucking played their own goddamn instruments while rapping. You fucking imbecile. Like, you can't be like, oh, I changed the game when, like, all you have is a different group of people playing instruments when you're forgetting that one of the best, like, hip-hop groups of, like, the, like, 80s and 90s played their own goddamn instruments while rapping. They kicked your goddamn ass in that department. And again, you're just an Eminem ripoff.
Moving on to moments like Last House and Burning Memories, I think the vocal features outshine MGK, even though one of them's Little Skies, and Little Skies outshines MGK just being bad. At the point where I just like I didn't think it would be this bad. We get a message from the Count, which is just Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Okay, can we get this beef with Pete Davidson real fast? No one's acknowledged the fact that he may have killed Mac Miller. Not in the fact of like actually killing Mac Miller, but sending Mac Miller in a downward spiral by sending a text of him and Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
Are we just gonna forget that? Is there a reasoning why everyone's forgetting that? Can someone explain it to me? Because I think he did an ethical wrong.
Yeah.
And no one's putting him to the ethical wrong because he's funny. Yes, Pete Davidson's very funny.
He's very funny.
But he also has, like, I'll give him the fact that he does have, what is it?
He has, like, a lot of mental illness.
He has, like, what's the one? Personality disorder.
He has, like, antisocial personality disorder. I think he has, like, borderline personality disorder and bipolar.
Yeah, so, like I will admit if it's a mental illness, I will admit that he has mental illnesses, but it doesn't make anything he does good.
Yeah, he said it himself that, like, having a mental illness doesn't excuse you from being an asshole.
Yeah.
Like, he already said that himself.
And then we get him hanging out with MGK, which even makes him look like more of an asshole. Yeah. But Pete Davidson's part's pretty funny. It was just improv moments, nothing too special. And then we get into this long lineup of tracks where we just get emo rap. And that includes Candy with Trippie Redd, where Trippie Redd is a godsend. I don't know what to say. Yeah. He's okay. Like, it's not his best performance, but he's able to save the track for what it is. Going to the end where we get I Think I'm Okay with Youngblood and Travis Barker, which is not, it's not terrible, but it's not good.
It's shitty, like 90s, 2000s post grunge alt rock that's so fucking watered down and stupid. I feel like I'm listening to another goddamn Hinder record because of this. And also,
Do you want a kiss from the angel?
exactly, a fucking Youngblood can't sing worth shit.
I forgot Hinder existed. That brings me back so many memories. Oh god.
I was like sitting like the entire drive up here. I was like, what band does this remind me of? And I was like going through. I was like, no, they were too heavy. I was like, no, they weren't the right genre. I was like, oh yeah, Hinder fucking exists.
Now you're gonna bring up Daughtry next.
Yeah. But, like, and then Youngblood starts singing on this track, and he's so fucking pitchy.
He's just dude from 1975.
Yeah.
Just bad dude from 1975.
At least he can like maintain a pitch sometimes.
MGK can't.
MGK
Travis
can't.
Barker can't keep a
Youngblood-
pitch on the drums.
Youngblood's fucking pitch was everywhere when he started singing. Like, at least like when like not to defend the 1975 because their last album was fucking garbage. But, like, at least when like he goes pitchy, it's like an emotional moment. Or, like, it seems like it's like a voice cracking like emotional break. This is just Youngblood not knowing how to fucking carry a pitch.
Yeah, Trippie Redd carries every pitch through his nose, and he maintains it.
Yeah.
But Trippie Redd's also good.
Yeah.
A decent amount of the time, even though he's had some fuck ups. But yeah, this is bad. He has toxic masculinity. He wants credit he didn't reserve. He's creating emo rap lyrics, but I feel pity for him because he just seems like he's just
seems sad,
insecure about everything, but not in a good way, in a bad way where he will not progress any further. And I feel like I'm supposed to empathize for him, and I am, but in a wrong way where I feel like something might actually happen to him. We should call the police. Not in a way where Trippie Redd kind of does the same thing and it ends up being like a track or Juice WRLD, even X. I didn't feel this way for it. It's like I think he may actually hurt himself, and that's scary.
Yeah.
I don't want anything bad to happen to MGK. I just want him to make good music. I want everyone to make good music. I want everyone to be happy. But
I even want Eminem to make good music. Again.
I just want Eminem to go away, but not in a bad way. I want him to go on a nice vacation, relax.
He should retire, actually.
Also, MGK acts. I think there's a line where he says, "Yeah, I'm working out here 7 days a week," and he's acting like he has a 9 to 5, and he doesn't. Music industry is tough. I understand that. It's not a 9 to 5 job. But you're treating it like it is. Not like not say you can't hate it, because you can. You're right. You have the right to deserve it.
It has like its own
but
issues, but it's not the same kind of issues a 9 to 5 has.
Yeah, he's saying it like it's a 9 to 5. Like he has to go. Like I have to go do some tax returns today or something like that. I have to go run an accounting business. It's not. You're not doing that. And he's acting like everything the music industry business is bringing him is negative. It's not. For a lot of artists, it could be. Everything that can be is negative. But for him, it's brought a lot of positives. And I feel like he's only overemphasized the negatives just for pity.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep in mind that scores are futile and meaningless. Right now, I'm feeling a 1,
0.
0. Because I think it's the same as Jaden. I don't think it's worse. But you do you do you.
like-
Is it at least the least favorite project? Because I think both of these are. But
It's on my least favorites. Yeah.
it's the least favorite.
It's right there with Logic, so good job.
Yeah.
You're just as good as Logic.
Okay, and with that, I think wraps up the review. And with that, I think wraps up the episode. This has been episode 93 of the Anthony and Touch Show, an episode we would like to call.
Fuck, I don't remember.
Don't tell Machine Gun Kelly that Kelly sounds like a girl's name, because.
He has a fragile sense of masculinity as it is.
And yeah, if you want to follow us, if you're listening to audio form, you can subscribe to us on Apple Music and Apple Podcast and Spotify. If you want to subscribe to us on YouTube, youtube.com/The Anthony and Todd Show. If you want to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all at Anthony and Todd. And if you want to support us monetarily, you can, doing so at patreon.com/The Anthony and Todd Show, so I can buy a
jet ski.
And for the simple price of $20 buckaroos, you can suggest an album or force us to review an album of your choosing. It's only 20 simple bucks. It's a one-time deal.
You should make me review Trout Mask Replica. I hate
You
that.
could give us source of pleasure or pain by your choice, but hopefully it's not another Machine Gun Kelly album. Hopefully it's not. I bet he has better records than this.
If any of you make me listen to another goddamn Logic album, I swear to God.
Well, we've reviewed the worst. We've already reviewed the worst. But the first two aren't as bad. They have some good moments to them. Everything before that isn't as bad.
I can't go back.
You can't go back. I feel like you appreciate Logic the Weird sadist way.
I have an appreciation because like I feel like they're probably my best reviews because I bring so much hatred to it.
And yeah, that wraps up the Anthony.
It's still torture to listen to.
That wraps up the Anthony and Todd show. Until next time, guys, I'm Vincent.
I'm Jonathan.
See you, boyos.
In your mind, in your mind, in your mind, in your mind.